Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So we got some more work to do on this S2000, and we're almost done though, so let me show you. So we came in yesterday, and it was kind of a late day because the fact that we had to wait for the flywheel to get machined because we reused the OEM AP1 flywheel. They are a lightweight flywheel, and then if it's not broke, don't fix it type thing. No need to spend the extra money when this wasn't even supposed to be kind of done until mistakes happen. And if you guys didn't see the last video, part 1 of this, what happened is about almost a year ago now, my shopmate / buddy Javi, who owns this car, he was at one of our local canyon roads, and he had forgot to check the oil for like a week or two. And from what the story goes, I was not there. I passed him on the way out, not knowing what had happened. He had basically said he kind of just cracked VTEC. Said basically like 4 times. Or sorry. He said he had cracked VTEC in a corner. Was babying it and then jumped into it and didn't know he was low on oil. And then essentially the motor shut off, and then it just wouldn't crank over. So they couldn't turn the crank by hand. So they just assumed the worst. And turns out the damage was all up here in the cylinder head so far. I don't know where the piece went, but when we pulled it apart the other day, there's a fat chunk of rocker arm, missing, floating around in the head. There's the valve. One on that side, on the left side, is contacted the piston. The one on the right side, inside of here, has no head because the head is exploded and was in the exhaust port. And there's more inside there, so obviously need a light to see in there. But yeah, so that's the situation. So that's where this engine is sitting now. Currently need to pull the head off when this is all done and running to see if there's anything salvageable besides miscellaneous pieces off of this thing. But as for this guy here, today this thing should be running. So all that's left up really is just the transmission, button up a few odds and ends like the intake, put the exhaust manifold on. Yesterday came in because, again, we had to get the flywheel machined, everything. We didn't even start really working on this till around 4 o'clock yesterday, other than, swapping some hoses over because he did a silicone hose kit like this. But, yeah, so we got the engine in last night, and the way these engines come in and out, dude, it is so much more difficult than any other Honda I've serviced so far, and mostly just because of everything right here. Just a nightmare to work in right here. So kind of a good thing because we found some hoses that we had forgot to do outside of the engine bay. So without the transmission on, we had more access underneath, in this area. So that's where we are starting off today. Basically just got to try and get this transmission up. So in order to do that on these cars, we also upgraded to some Hasport engine mounts. While we were in there, swung by Hasport, said hi to Brian yesterday, and we were able to buy some of those. But yeah, so basically all we got to do is drop the subframe a little bit. It's called the service position. These middle subframe bolts, they are very, very long. They're probably like, 9 to 11 inches. And in the midpoint, there's like a dip in the threads. And then that's like the service point. And then that's the only way you can get this transmission off and on because you need access to these upper bell housing bolts. So we cleaned this thing up. It looks brand new now, but yeah, we're doing freaking, not going to say we're making good time on this, but we're not horrible in labor hours. Right now, we're probably around 11. I think book time on this is probably around 15 to 18. I can't recall. So, yeah, we're doing all right. And then just to top it off, the icing on the cake, he's got some BC coils going on. He did buy them secondhand because they were a deal, but, that's for later in the day. Today, I am kind of on a time constraint because I got to actually go to Hasport later today with my S2000 that's outside because we're making a video together with VTEC Academy doing the AP1 differential mounts because mine are torn and Brian hooked it up. So we're going to make a video together. So in the meantime, I'm going to eat some breakfast really quick, got some Donkey and some Starbies, and we're going to jump into this. Long-winded explanation on catching you guys up, I know, but like I said, I didn't film yesterday, so kind of makes up for it, I hope. Kind of jump you up to speed. Alright, so Efren and Javi are next door. They're tinting a car right now in their dad's shop, so I gotta wait for them to be done with that. I don't want to take time another day in case something doesn't go smooth with doing the transmission side of this thing. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go through and double check all the hose connections, the hose clamps that I can access, because I didn't put them on. And then just try and make sure we have everything plumbed up the correct way. Because these AP1s, they really do have a lot of vacuum lines and electrical connections over here, and it's really just kind of tedious. So I'm going to go through, double check these things, and wait for them.
so ran into an issue yesterday that obviously wasn't on camera, but I'm running into it again right now. So we're not the first persons to have been in this car this deep. Maybe, you know, first person to have the engine out since, you know, the car's been made, whatever. But somebody's definitely been in here messing with stuff before, and we found more evidence of that as we went through, and right now we're reaping the destruction of that. So when I dropped the subframe initially the other day, I just used the impact, pulled the bolts out. Everything seemed fine, but when we went to go put them back in the order that I took them out, they didn't seem right. And now, because I haven't dropped my subframe fully before, so I've never paid attention to which bolts are which length. So there's 6 bolts, and they're very long. So you got this one that's like a weird stepped one, because you see that weird hole in the middle. So that's like to get you to the service position. That top half of the threads is 3 inches. Then you have this shorter bolt right here. So yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at the threads on this thing. So basically what had happened is the shorter bolt is supposed to be in the middle. You pull those out, then you drop the rest of the 4 corners down 3 inches, and that's your service position. So the issue that we just ran into though is that those bolts were in the front, which they were eating threads. So now the concern is that one side should be okay. I'm gonna run the tap through it, but I just had to go get a, you know, tap and die set, because I gotta chase these shorter bolts now, and then I got to chase all the holes, well, the front holes, and hopefully we can do that without dropping the subframe, because we don't have time. This car has to be at least off my lift today, because I got a job tomorrow that requires it. So yeah, you can kind of see on these bolts though how there's like the shiny part back there. That was more thread that was being engaged on this bolt that isn't, you know, long with enough threads as compared to this. Lots and lots of threads. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna try and chase this and hope for the best, because this is kind of sucky. Okay, well this sucks. These, I didn't take the bolt with me, and I didn't have a measuring, you know, means beforehand. These are M14, I want to say 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and this kit only goes up to M12. So I am, you know, kind of SOL at the moment. I don't really know what to do. I got to try and find somebody local that has, you know, a tap for this. Shoot. Was not easy to find these things, but thankfully Ace Hardware ended up having them in stock. Went to, you know, the local nut and bolt place, went to Home Depot, tried Napa, but Ace was the only one that actually had them in stock like their website showed. So there's the die, there is the tap. Let's see what we can do. Alright, threads are chased. Went through all the bolts that I had off just to make sure they were all cleaned up. And I just went through and did the whole, I used an extension with the 10mm 12 point, because that was the only thing that would, you know, hold the, you know, the tap. But let's get this thing put in and see if it will thread. Okay. Looks like we're getting somewhere. Feels a little loose, but there's a lot of wiggle room up there. But overall, the threads themselves are catching freaking nicely, actually. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead, call that a win, because I know the other side is already good. I got a bolt up there. So now we can drop this thing to the service position. Although I do have to put the longer bolts up front, but I wanted to make sure that these threads were going to be okay here. So, yeah. Awesome. All right, so transmission is up. Definitely a little bit more tedious than, you know, like my Miata transmission and stuff. It just has to be like dead nuts aligned. So we're putting in the last couple bolts now. Had to use the other bolts on the sides to suck it together, but yeah, we're good though. So I'm gonna finish this up and move along. Man, what a long day, but we are finally at the final step. So I'm sorry, I'm looking at the lens over here because I keep trying to figure it out. But yeah, no, this thing is ready for oil and coolant. So I had to dip out for a little while, went and filmed a video with Brian, which you guys will see, you know, probably after this one at some point. So yeah, just doing the diff mounts, but popped in. Now we're back. Time for fluids. They finished everything else up while I was gone. It has a shifter, right?
It does.
Okay, it has a shifter. That was the part that I forgot, because order of operations on the transmissions on these things, you gotta like clutch fork before the tranny gets mated but not connected because it's like a push style and not a pull, or vice versa. And then the shifter turret comes out from the top but like the bottom. I don't know, it's weird, but yeah, no, we're ready. Drop some fluids in this thing and let's hope it fires right up.
You need to up your fluid, Javi.
What do you mean?
10W40 for AP1s here in AZ is probably what you want. Because it's hot, and then yeah, it's probably gonna thin out really quick. Huh, Chris?
Yeah, I run the Euro spec 1040. It seems to burn a little bit less, but Mike swears that his catch can fixed his oil burning. So when I get some extra cheese, I'm gonna get the the one that goes here, the name brand one.
I know. You're
Starts
talking
with an R, reactive or radium or something like that.
Yeah, the black one, right?
Renegade?
No,
I don't think it's Renegade.
I cannot think of the name. But yeah, it's supposed to be really, really good.
That should good. We need another quart because we just swapped the filter, right? So it's like 5.7 or something like that.
Something like that.
It's they're all 6 in there, bro. There was a couple good ones that came up, but they sold before I had the money to buy them.
Yeah, there was the one before that was like.
All right, this is the moment of truth. It's got oil, it's got coolant. So we just fixed a fuel leak that was on the underside, like I was kind of concerned about. Surprisingly, it didn't leak up here like I thought, but yeah, let's fire this thing up.
Sometimes don't start. Oh, we forgot to do this little wire here, this little ground. Wow, just like that, huh?
Probably use a valve lash adjustment, but it sounds really good otherwise. Heck yeah, boy! Got your ass back.
Yeah, about fucking time.
Looking good up here. Everything looks dry. Let's go, baby. Are you sure? He's like, hell yeah, it's about time.
I found a shit ton of money, but let's go.
Woo! Damn.
Alright, we're gonna bleed this thing out, give it the Billman process and whatnot, and spin it, spin around the block. Final piece.
Yeah, torquing down the wheels so they don't go flying off. And what do you think about the height though? Looks like kind of right off the bat, kind of like eyeballing it. It's not terrible.
It looks like the front needs to come down a little bit, but otherwise it's pretty close.
This side looks a little bit higher. So.
Well, because I know the floor is higher over there.
True.
Yeah, because I know when I have the lift arms all the way screwed down, it drags the floor over there and not over here. So.
Oh yeah. Either way, it looks way better than before. Before it was like monster trucking, like.
Oh yeah. I mean, even right here, it's really not off much.
Yep.
Just a little bit.
I'd say like half an inch on this side, to be honest.
Heck yeah, dude. All right. Well, we'll have to spin this thing around the block for you guys before we end this video out. But she's running.
Yeah, it sounded really good. No leaks, nothing like that.
Yeah,
I honestly didn't think it was going to start first try. But
For some reason, the starter is really loud sounding, but it is the starter that came on the engine. But other than that, and then the exhaust leak that we were tightening up while the engine was heat cycling, that was it. No fuel leaks other than the one we fixed. Coolant's good. Oil is good. Like
this would be like your first big job under Velocity Fab, huh?
technically, yeah.
There you go. Not a bad first job, right?
Not bad.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. But we'll have to get used to it.
Probably turn that down so we don't melt in here now.
Nice.
That starter just sounds so heavy duty. It's like it sounds like a damn diesel.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right, first try.
Starter, or is that a new one?
It's the one from the engine.
From the new one?
Yeah.
You're good. Wait, hold on. Let me clear this.
Oh, my brakes are gonna feel like shit.
Oh yeah, they are.
Okay. You were good. You're good.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's the clutch, I swear. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
you're gonna have to get the rotors or the dust off the rotors and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple stops.
Yeah. But look at that. She's under her own power. First time in almost a year.
Oh my god, the alignment is terrible. Look at the wheel.
I did what I could.
It's all good. Oh god.
Heck yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I see it's all over the road. Well, there you guys have it. She's moving under her own power. It sounds awesome. Like, it sounds healthy. Yeah, get in alignment, you know. Really, yeah, get in alignment. But other than that, like, you know, in the future, change out some bushings, you know, just maintain it. It's just good to have this thing back after almost a year of sitting. But, yeah, I don't know. Wind's blowing. I'll catch you guys back at the shop. We'll end this out. Yeah, no, car runs fantastic. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, again, I'm sorry for not getting as much work, but yesterday was just not very fun. But if you did enjoy the video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions, or, you know, just saying hi. You know, it's really cool. I like talking with you guys. If you want to help support the channel, you know, I've got merch. I'm coming up with some new stuff for Velocity Racing Fab or VRF here very shortly. Especially with the shop move coming up, you know, just praying that we get into this location we checked out yesterday, because it would be awesome. You know, hate to leave this place, but, you know, the situation deems it so. Life goes on, business is business. But anyways, guys, do what you love, forget the rest. Thanks for spending some time out of your day here with us. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.